So this is video number 2 for the most challenging yoga pose. How are we going to achieve it? The most challenging yoga pose in yoga is Siddhasana, is or sitting or seated asana, seated pose for meditation. We hold this pose, the book says, for hours and hours and hours at the time, and we sit on meditation and we become one with the universe, and we disconnect from the five senses, and we get in touch with our higher selves, and we feel that we are one with the universe, and we can touch all the trees, all the floors, all the people, all the love, all the consciousness. So here we are trying to get the body ready. The challenge about this pose is that the body is tight, the mind is going everywhere, and the emotions are running like Marvin and Togo when I'm trying to make my videos. So the first video that I did was about releasing shoulders and shoulder blades. This is the second one. This is for strengthening the legs. All standing asanas strengthen the legs, and that is the first thing that we need to strengthen to be able to do our practice. That's what the book says. Strengthen the legs first. That's why we practice sun salutations. But here we are not going to do a sun salutation. We are going to approach it one asana at the time. So asana number 1, Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. You already know Warrior 1. We've done it in all of the videos. If you Google Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1, hundreds, thousands, millions of videos come out. You can enter Virabhadrasana 1 from standing, or you can enter it from downward facing dog. We're gonna do it from standing because it's easy. Why not? This is my video. I'm gonna do whatever I want. So I'm gonna put my blocks towards the side because I like to use my blocks to ease my body into the poses. So I'm gonna step side to side. I'm gonna open my arms, and what Iyengar teaches is that when you open your arms to do Virabhadrasana 1, Virabhadrasana 2, side angle, Trikonasana, any standing pose is at least 3 feet apart, and the maximum should be right under your feet, right under your wrist. So I'm gonna do at least 3 feet apart because my hips are still working on being steady, and my ankle is still working on having the flexibility to flex for the foot to go forward, and you'll see it. So I'm gonna open my feet 3 feet apart. It's kind of like a little bit wider than elbow to elbow. And then I'm gonna point my right toes towards the right, my left toes towards the right on an angle, and I'm gonna aim my hips to come towards the front of the room. According to the book, you are supposed to aim heel with heel. If your ankle doesn't have the flexibility, you need to, instead of aligning your feet heel with heel, you take a step wider as if you were stepping on a train track, and then you aim your hips forward. You bend the forward knee, and this is the flexibility of my ankle. That's it. The book says, Iyengar teaches that to be able to strengthen the leg and to protect the knee, your leg has to be at a 90-degree angle. 90. So your hip has to be very low, and your front leg has to be very, very bent at a 90-degree angle. Let me go back here. Right there. Because when you do this, you have to squeeze the thigh. All the effort is on the thigh, is not on the knee. The flexibility of my ankle is not necessarily there, and I cannot necessarily push this hip as forward as Iyengar teaches. So I am gonna do this. I'm gonna step it a notch, just a little bit less effort. I'm gonna separate my feet instead of heel with heel. I'm gonna do the train track thingy, and I'm gonna squeeze my thigh even though I'm not at the 90-degree angle. I'm trying to soften the curve of my low back, pointing my tailbone and my sit bones down. I'm pressing my back heel firmly on the floor. I'm locking the knee. I'm squeezing the thighs. And I'm rolling my back thigh in and my front thigh out. I'm tightening at the ribs. The ribs are not showing. The ribs are tucked in. I'm bringing the top of the hip bones and the bottom of the ribs tight to tighten the corset of the torso. And then the next time when I inhale, I'm gonna expand my body sides, forward, back, and up. And then supposedly the book says you drop the head back, open the heart chakra, open the throat chakra. If you're not balanced, just look straight forward. If you're not balanced, keep your nose pointing forward and just lower your eyesight. Keep expanding with your breath. Up, side to side, front and back. Expand your armpits, expand the chest, soften the shoulders, soften the face, and hold. The same amount of weight that you have on the front leg, you have to have on the back. You squeeze the thighs to protect the knees. You tighten the core to protect the spine, and all of the strength that your body is looking for or creating comes from Mula Bandha. And hold right there. So that's pose number one. Pose number two, Virabhadrasana to Warrior Two. The book says you align heel with heel or heel with arch, and you just open from Warrior One to Warrior Two, and you should be already with your front or your bent knee at a 90-degree. I am able to do Warrior Two very low. I'm already open in my groin area. My ankle going towards the side has the flexibility, and I do have the strength on my leg to bring that front leg or that bent knee at a 90-degree. I am not there in Warrior One. So when I open from Warrior One to Warrior Two, I have a little dance that I need to do on my feet. Warrior One, the book says you just open to Warrior Two by switching your extended leg. I switch my extended leg, but I also step forward, 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 and I am at that 90-degree angle. My front, my bent knee, this is my right leg, this thigh is squeezing towards the bone and rolled out. The knee is right on top of the ankle. My extended leg, the outer edge of the foot. See that the outer edge of the foot is touching the floor. My toes are spread open and pressing down. The same amount of effort that I have on my big toe is on my pinky toe and down the line on the outer edge. You don't see it, but the arch is active. The arch of the foot is lifting. The energy of my leg is pushing down and my thigh is rolling out. I have my hips my bent leg at a 90 degree. The thigh is squeezing towards the bone and rolling out, and the same amount of effort that I have in one foot, I have on the other. I am pressing, I'm softening the curve of the low back, flattening the curve of the low back. So soften the curve of the low back, the glutes are engaged, squeezing, engaging. The sit bones are pointing down, and from the hips up, I'm lengthening. Same thing as in Warrior One. The tip of the hip bones and the ribs are coming together, tightening the torso. And every time when I breathe, I'm expanding the chest. Forward, back, and side to side. There is tension on the arms, extending the arms with the intention of lifting and extending the torso, lengthening that breath. Soften the neck, soften the face. Hold, press your feet down, and be one with the universe. That's pose number 2. Pose number 3, I'm gonna use blocks. You can use a chair, you can use the wall, you can use a piece of furniture. Make it effortless. Make it effortless. Make it about breathing. So the next one is going to be side angle. And I'm gonna show it to you with the blocks. Okay, this side. So same thing. Separate the feet as wide as they can go. You're gonna come to Warrior Two stance. You align heel with heel or heel with arch. If the extended leg feels a little weak or the ankle is tight, your toes, instead of pointing towards the front, point them a little bit on an angle. This is gonna turn the knee in, the thigh in. So squeeze everything and squeeze the glute. Come to your 90-degree angle on the bent knee. And then put your hand on the blocks. Push the pubic bone forward. The intention is to stretch at the groin area and stretch the side of the body, lengthening. If you go to Bikram yoga, they call this Trikonasana. This is their Trikonasana. If you go to Ashtanga, this is side angle. If you go to Ashtanga, your arm is behind the leg. The arm is behind the leg. I use a block. I always use a block. Right there. The ribs are supposed to be turning, opening towards the sky, opening, stretching. If you want, you can also, why not, have the hand inside. Use the arm for leverage to push against the leg against the arm, and then open your ribs and stretch. You are pushing the hips forward, softening the curve of the low back. The glutes need to be engaged. You're pushing your upper hip. The energy is going down. and the bent knee hip is pushing away to lengthen the torso, to make a space for the ribs and for the turn, and you stretch. Easily breathing, holding, meditating, becoming one with the universe. Namaste.